Good morning, Husker fans, and welcome back to the Husker Big Red YouTube channel. And here we are live on this Saturday morning after what can only be classified as a disaster performance for the Nebraska Cornhuskers as they go on the road as more than a touchdown favorite, lose 24-6 to Minnesota. We heard the rumors swirling all week about Matt Rule, and who knows if that had an impact, on the game on Friday night. But whatever happened, man, the Huskers looked shell-shocked on the field. They gave up 9 sacks. A 71-yard run to Darius Taylor in the second quarter that really kind of sparked Minnesota. Maybe that was in the first quarter. But either way, they were physically dominant throughout. There wasn't Matt Rule didn't have a lot of answers after, and I don't have a lot of answers either. I did not expect Nebraska to get physically manhandled like that. So we'll break it down. Hopefully, you guys are joining us on social media, on YouTube. If you are, thank you very much. Go ahead and hop in the chat. I saw we have James here already. Good morning, James. I'm glad that you're still saying the Go Big Red this morning. So good to see you here. And we're going to break it down and hopefully have some cathartic experiences this morning as we try to recover from. Yeah. I mean, it's just the same old thing for this program. It seems like new faces, but same results.
Yeah, and this wasn't even a close game. This was a nightmare, and you kind of I don't even have words for this. I mean, this was one of the more poor Minnesota teams that we faced. I mean, I believe they only had 30 yards rushing against Purdue, and yet we made Darius Taylor look like Walter Payton, or who's a good Minnesota running back, who's a good Vikings running back. I guess I don't know, maybe
Robert Smith, maybe.
Yeah. So I don't really know, and I can't say, oh, Matt Rule didn't come prepared. Oh, Dan Hollerson didn't come prepared. Nobody came prepared. I mean, it looked like they were still sleeping. I mean, and if the goal of the game was to block imaginary defensive linemen in the air, then we would have been in all conference nomination for next week. But our offensive line can't do anything. So I don't know. I was talking to one of my buddies, and he said that a change, probably should come soon on the offensive line. And I don't care if that upsets the Raiola family dynasty. I see people blaming Dylan a lot for last night's game, and I don't think it was entirely his fault. But this offensive line is just absolutely awful, and I thought they had turned the corner after the Michigan State game and even the Maryland game where they allowed 1 sack. But the thing about our team here is that you can watch us on tape, and you can very clearly see what our weaknesses are. And PJ Fleck definitely watched tape. The Gophers definitely watched tape, and like they do, they took advantage of said weaknesses. They don't play sexy football. It's not silky smooth, eye-popping football, but they take advantage of your weaknesses, and we've seen it way too many times. And that's exactly what they did on Friday. So, I didn't expect this game to be this bad, but PJ Fleck has always given Nebraska nightmares, and it's not so much that we lost to the Gophers and PJ Fleck. It's that they really, 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 really exposed what Nebraska lacks, and all any other team has to do moving forward is watch the tape, and they can see, you can beat Nebraska this way. I mean, I'm sure Fleck and company did that prior to Friday's game, but boy, Friday was just a reminder of what we need to work on, and the fact that it probably won't get fixed.
Yeah, it's a reminder that that was great, Dan. I think you hit a lot. You made a lot of really good points. I think it goes back to something we said after the Michigan game, though. Like Matt Rule said, like we got to protect and affect the quarterback, and they can't do either. They had 0 sacks last night, or 1 sack. They had 1 sack last night.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the same thing. They did that same thing against Michigan. It's just they cannot win in the trenches. Their defensive line, I mean, they've got some players up there, but man, I don't know if you saw it, but somebody did a screenshot on that touched on that run by Taylor, which wasn't a touchdown but close. And man, that you could literally drive a truck through it. You literally could drive a bus through it. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then offensively, I mean, yeah, it hurts that Elijah Pritchett goes down and Rocco Spindler gets his finger hurt. But it's like, come on, you guys, that you have people who've played and started games, and then to me, it's also like, why, Rocco Spindler goes down. We've got Tyler Knack going in the game, which is fine, but it's like, where are the guy, where's Grant Bricks? Like, where are some of these highly touted recruits that we've had? I mean, they're just nowhere to be seen. And we're throwing out, these also rans like Prohashka and Corcoran. And I mean, I know they're veteran players, but there's a reason why, they are who they are. And I mean, it was a disaster. And Minnesota they brought pressure, they blitzed, they were prepared. And they probably heard all week about how Nebraska was a favorite and how Matt Rule was going to Penn State and all this stuff. And it's just disappointing because the team that Nebraska should be, that I want them to be, that's who Minnesota was last night. That's who I thought Nebraska was going to be. I thought Nebraska was going to go in there and run the football. I thought Emmett Johnson was going to have a huge day. I thought the offensive line, I mean, Minnesota's defense is okay. They had 14 sacks coming into this game. They had 9 last night. I mean, it's like even Michigan in their other 5 games, I think they have like 7 sacks. Like Nebraska, like every single team outside of Maryland is like putting up their season high in sacks, and it's like double. Like they're almost getting as many sacks as they're getting the rest of the season. Like Michigan State had like 6 sacks in all their other games, 5 against Nebraska. So yeah, I don't know. I thought they turned a corner last week and they played really well against a pretty strong Maryland defense, but I guess it's just, like maybe Maryland wasn't that good. And it's just disappointing to me that, it seems like whenever Nebraska comes up against, a Michigan, an Iowa, or a Minnesota, a team that's tough, they just wilt. And, for that to still be happening in year 3 under Matt Rule, like to me, that's the most disappointing thing because, he was supposed to fix that. And we've seen, it's looked better at times, but that was just an eye-opening performance in a bad way. And it just made it honestly, I was sitting there thinking like, man, maybe we should have hired PJ Fleck to be our coach 3 years ago. Like nobody seems to want to take this guy out of Minnesota, but he's beat us 6 straight times, 6 times in a row. Like that is just, there's no universe where Minnesota should have beaten Nebraska 6 times in a row. It's because they have a better coach, and they've had a better coach every time that we've played. And I mean, after watching that game last night, like who could look and say that Matt Rule's a better coach than PJ Fleck? Like I don't know, man. I mean, the one good thing about it is like I don't think we're gonna have to hear about Matt Rule to Penn State anymore because I think that train's coming off the tracks quickly. And I mean, I said this a couple weeks ago, but it's like, has he earned a contract extension here? I know we're talking about giving him one because of this Penn State connection, but has he earned a contract extension? Like we're here in year 3. He was 7-6 last year, and I mean, looking at this schedule, yes, there are games they can win. They should be able to win next week, but man, those last 4 games look a hell of a lot more difficult. And I know Penn State's whatever, but I mean, still winning in Happy Valley is not going to be easy. Winning at UCLA is not going to be easy, and neither is beating USC or Iowa at home. Now, I mentioned the stat off air, and I'll let you talk after I say it. But
no problem.
4 games that Matt Rule has played against Kirk Ferentz and PJ Fleck, Nebraska is 0-4, and they've averaged 9 points a game. They have not scored more than 10 points against Iowa or Minnesota. That, to me, is a huge indictment of this program.
I think he has earned an extension provided he doesn't let his ship go down with Donovan Raiola. And what I mean by that is Scott Frost held on to Eric Shenander too long, and while Scott Frost had a myriad of other issues, one of his biggest glaring things was that he held on to Eric Shenander too long. If Matt Rule can have the balls to get a new offensive line coach, again, shaking up the Raiola family dynasty, then I think maybe, he has earned a contract extension because we've seen him make tough decisions before with naming Dana Holmgren offensive coordinator over Mark Satterfield. But if he keeps Raiola and a change isn't made, then I think we can start, questioning a contract extension.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, over these next 5 games. I mean, that'll be a big part of it. Yeah, this Northwestern game seems huge now because, man, if you somehow don't win that game, like, holy cow, then you're sitting at 5-3 and you're going to have to beat, one of those other teams just to make a bowl game. And it's crazy how quickly things can change. We were thinking, yeah, I really truly thought this team was, turn the corner and they were going to just really take care of business. And I'm not the only one. A lot of people thought that. Steve Sipple, who, I would not categorize as a Kool-Aid drinker, myself personally, he picked Nebraska to win this game 42-13. 42-13. And they got, so that tells you where a lot of the Nebraska people were at. When Steve Sipple's, making predictions like that, I don't know. He was drinking the Kool-Aid as hard as anybody. And so I don't know. It's shocking. I guess we shouldn't be shocked, but it is shocking. And so, yeah, I don't know. I kind of am at a loss for words, but at the same time, like, it's a tough conference. Like, there are no easy wins in this league. And so it's a reminder that, Nebraska is just not where it needs to be yet. And that doesn't mean Matt Rule can't get them there. I still think this program's made a lot of progress. They really have. But it still is shocking, because it's like, man, if we're still sitting in the old Big Ten West, we're still sitting in the middle of the pack. We still can't beat the best teams from the old Big Ten West. How in God's name are we ever going to compete with, the Ohio States of the world if we can't even beat Minnesota?
Yeah, no, you're right. I was just thinking about that statement, but if he doesn't fire Raiola, then that will be a defining thing for his legacy at Nebraska. If he does, then that may change things. And again, I know that may upset, ruffle some feathers, but he can't if he wants to stay at Nebraska and be successful at Nebraska, he can't tie he can't, throw all his chips into the Raiola family hat. And I don't have any knowledge or whatever. This is just me stating my opinion, but I wouldn't be honestly surprised if Dylan was calling the shots somewhere somehow. So you look at how quickly Marcus Satterfield was demoted, and the fact that the uncle is still on staff as the offensive line coach, that could be something there too. But Matt Rule's legacy will be tied to what he does with Donovan Raiola, and he's got a couple big decisions to make coming up.
So first, thanks for the comment, Kurt Graffis from Facebook, and he agrees with you, Danny. O-line flat out terrible. Time for a new O-line coach. And yeah, for all the hype that we got in the offseason, man, it has not been good. This might be one of the worst. This might be the worst offensive line in the Big Ten, honestly. In terms of pass protection, how could anybody be worse than this? Like, I haven't looked at the numbers, but they've got to be leading the Big Ten in sacks allowed. I just don't know how they aren't right now.
And I don't know how people are blaming Dylan. There were times last night where he had to run out of the pocket, duck, kind of dodge, like he was playing dodgeball, and he made the throws he needed to make. But this is not on Dylan. This offensive line is bad.
There was one play. It was the third after they went up 17-6. Yeah, that's what it was. They were up 17-6, right? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and then they got the last touchdown. This is after they went 21-6. Sorry, guys, messed up the. But anyway, we were down 21-6, so 2-score game, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, we can't. No matter what happens, this is 4-down territory. Like, we have to go down and get a score. We got a couple of nice plays. Like I remember, Emmett got a nice run. It's like 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 4 or 5, whatever. Yeah. They come and do a blitz. They blitz a linebacker up the middle. Gunnar Gatula leaves the edge rusher. Yeah. He literally did not block him.
That's the exact same play that I'm thinking. I'm sorry, go ahead. But yes.
But like, the guy was literally standing right in front of him, and he did not block him. And so Dylan Raiola literally had to fall down because he was going to get killed. Like, there's nothing he could do. There was nowhere to go. There was nowhere to juke to. Like, I understand, like, it's hard to sit here and say, without seeing the all 22, like, oh, maybe he could have got rid of the ball here or there. And
no, he couldn't have. They were in his lap.
Yeah, and like, maybe one or two of those sacks, like, maybe he could have avoided, but for the majority of them, yeah, there's no way. And like,
no, this is not on him. And no, TJ Lateef wouldn't have solved this problem. So I don't want to miss me with that bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in the one play, God, in the first quarter, he had to juke a guy and throw left-handed. He had so much goddamn pressure, he had to throw left-handed to Luke Linderman, and that was an incredible play. And it's like,
yeah, that was.
But yeah, so this is interesting too about James Allen. I wonder what Daddy Raiola, as in Dominic, thinks about this. And that is a very interesting question, James, because his brother's the guy coaching the O-line and is getting his son killed. So I don't know, but he can't be happy with.
Honestly, if Dominic says, "Hey, we got to get a new we got to get a new offensive line coach,"
he's like texting Rule
the hell out. Then maybe that's what we need to do.
He's texting Rule like, Donovan's got to go. Mm-hmm. Don't tell him this came from me, but
Thanksgiving dinner is going to be fun this year.
Or at least Michigan did this last year where their offensive line coach struggled, so they went and hired a guy that coached Juan Castillo was his name. He coached for the Eagles. He was the Eagles O-line coach for a long time, and they called him the assistant O-line coach. So maybe they just hire another guy and just let Donovan have the same job, but get somebody to help him. I don't know, but they need to do something. Let's see here. Nebraska and Michigan have the same problem. Neither team has an O-line. Yeah, I mean that's pretty true. I think Michigan's is probably a little. I would take Michigan's over Nebraska's because.
I mean, is the bar really set that high at this point? Sure, I would take Michigan's over Nebraska's too.
Well, I'd take anybody's over.
Yeah.
The one thing about Michigan's is that at least 4 of those 5 guys are 3 of the guys that are starting are sophomores. I mean, Nebraska's got a transfer tackle they paid a bunch of money to, over $1 million. Not good. Rocco Spindler, they paid over $1 million to. He has been just an average Joe. Who's
currently in the hospital right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rocco, but that was the worst. That was probably the worst move Nebraska made this offseason. He just is nothing special, and they wasted that money. Should have went to Chamar Brown. Anyway, Loftoski's fine. Evans is fine. Gatula's terrible. He is awful. Why is he even playing? That was the worst offensive. That snap in the third, that was the worst offensive line snap I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've seen a lot of football. I've seen high school. I have never seen a guy miss. How do you not block the edge? I just don't understand that. That is basic. You wouldn't see that in third grade football.
I honestly have, and it was a 2021 team.
Well, yeah.
No, sorry, 2022 team that got Casey Thompson killed.
Yeah, it's not great. Thanks for the comment of the new life from YouTube. But yeah, I agree with you. Headley Lamar, thank you for the comment on YouTube. Guys, we just need a $40 million roster so we can beat the teams that use John Silver gift cards and fruit by the foot as their NIL.
I do think we need a little up in money, and I think Rule was posturing for more money in his press conference on Monday. I do think we need to have a bigger budget for NIL, but who the hell knows if we'll get it.
That was pretty. I love it though. So we can beat the teams using John Silver gift cards and fruit by the foot is there. Yeah, because Minnesota definitely does not have the NIL fund. Just to follow up on that point from Headley, that was the worst O-line performance I've seen in my life in 37 years. I can't really disagree with you.
I do disagree with this because when you're a pocket passing quarterback and you're already, trying to dodge defenders and stuff like that, he didn't have any time to throw last night, honestly. And I mean, when you have a pocket passing quarterback, this is what you get. And I understand, okay, maybe he does need to get rid of the ball quicker, on some throws, but I mean, last night was not on him at all. And, plays were barely developing, and the Minnesota Golden Gophers were already in the backfield. So, I don't think to say that Raiola needs to get rid of the ball quicker, I don't necessarily agree with that in the sense that this offensive line just has to block.
I think the offensive line does need to block better. I do think that some of the issues go beyond the offensive line in terms of protection, with running backs, tight ends, and not even necessarily Raiola getting rid of the ball, but there's something about this team that they just do not understand protection well, and how to get guys lined up in protections, and maybe that
falls on Donovan.
Some of it it does fall on Donovan. I think some of it maybe falls on just still Dylan being a somewhat of a young quarterback, although he's fairly experienced. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough situation, but I think protection-wise, whether it's and I said this after the Michigan game, the entire protection scheme from the quarterback to the backs to the tight ends to the offensive line, it just does not work. It's not working in sync. And so I don't know there's a lot of issues there, but they've got to get that fixed.
Did you see the play where Emmett Johnson got run over by the Minnesota defender when he was trying to block? The Minnesota defender came in, just absolutely ran over Emmett Johnson and got to Raiola. It's like, Jesus.
I didn't know. And then Headley, we spend twice as much as Minnesota. Yeah, we should not be losing games to Minnesota. No, William from Facebook, thanks for the comment. I don't think TJ Lateef would have made a difference. I really don't. I think he would have been running for. I think he would have been running for his life even worse than Dylan. So like I get it, and I do think he has a promising career, but I don't think he is the answer right now. You can't take 9 sacks. Some of those are on rail. I mean, I think some of it is on the quarterback, but I mean, last night mostly was the offensive line. I mean, there's probably some things he could do, but like on the Gatula play, like he was in the like the guy's running at him in the middle of the pocket. There's no room to get out of it. He can't throw it away.
Yeah.
So I think part of it too is honestly, I said this before. I would rather take a sack than have the quarterback throw it up for an interception. I mean, a sack kills your drive, but so I mean, I get it. I do think that in some instances he's probably holding the ball a little longer to try to not make an interception, which I don't think is necessarily a bad play, but yeah, I don't think it's on everybody, but the offensive line is the main issue. Like there's times where like you can't. I mean, a second or two before he's dropping back and he's got a guy in his face. Like there's very few times where you can actually see Dylan like take a full 3-step drop. Like they're in his lap all the time. But yeah, it's hard to defend Donovan Raiola at this point. I mean, they just have not improved. I mean, there was some improvement, from when his season was Scott Frost, but not enough in 3 years and your offensive line coach needs to be one of your best coaches, honestly. They just need to be. It shouldn't be some guy that's inexperienced. Like you need like an old ass guy and like Dante Scarnecchia from the Patriots. Like that you need like seriously
Scar,
though. Like
Scar.
Yeah, and like Matt Rule should be able to find somebody like that. And maybe if he does keep Raiola, they have got to get somebody to help him out. Like I don't care if you want to save the feelings or whatever, but they need to do something there.
He can't keep Raiola. He can't keep Raiola, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a tough situation. It really is. They quit, plain and simple. I do kind of feel that. I hate saying that they quit. I really do, but it did feel like there was some of that in the fourth quarter. I don't know.
I don't know if they quit, but they knew that they were outmatched.
Yeah, maybe quit might be the wrong word. Demoralized, I think, would be.
Yeah, that's a good word.
I think they were at that point, like, man, like here we go again.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
It's just.
I mean, us too.
That's how I would. You could see the look on the faces in the fans, just like the fans didn't even look mad in the stands. They didn't even look mad. They just were like,
they were shocked. Like I was texting a bunch of my Nebraska friends, and they were shocked. Like everybody was just shocked.
Yeah, like I wasn't like, the last time they lost to Minnesota, you remember, I was pissed. I was
pissed too. Yeah,
and this was just like disappointment and shock. Yeah, just true. I just I thought there was a chance they could lose this game. Like 2017, I did not think there was any way they would get beat by 18 points. The way that they lost, and that's kind of it's kind of similar to that guy brought up Michigan. Like, yeah, it's one thing to lose. It's one thing to lose. Like, oh, you go to USC and lose 27-24. Like Michigan got dominated last week, and that's what happened to Nebraska. So it's just it's just shocking when you're sitting here talking about a team that you think can make a run at the playoff, and then you're like, oh my God, we can't even play within 3 scores of Minnesota. So. Establishing the run takes the pressure off the QB. Can Nebraska run block? I mean, they actually did okay. I mean, Emmett Johnson had over 4.5. I kept wondering why he wasn't getting the ball more.
Yeah, I kind of questioned the play calling a little bit at some points. I felt like he should have been getting the ball more because he was getting into a nice groove a little bit, and I'm not sure if they saw something or what, but I felt like he should have gotten the ball more.
And so that is part of it. I did felt that they abandoned the run too early. I mean, even when it was like a 1-score game and they're out there, throwing the ball all the time. So I don't know. I think that sometimes I don't think Holgorsen does them favors. I mean, it's not like Nebraska's got a ton of weapons where they could go max protect, but they could do it sometimes. I mean, Isaiah Hunter is one of the best contested ball catchers in the Big Ten. So they are always, I mean, there are times where I'm like, why are we sitting here with one-on-one guys blocking? So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big question to me. And Scott Frost, at least, Scott Frost got dominated by PJ Fleck. But this I felt was more just like a slowly ripping off the Band-Aid. I mean, Drake Lindsay had time to read a book, knit a sweater, and read his Bible with all the time he had in the pocket, and I didn't think Drake Lindsay was anything special. One of the things that really bothered me now, looking back on it now, is that we were playing soft zone or something, and the underneath, kind of slant route was just wide open, and Minnesota just took it, and they got first downs, and we couldn't adjust to it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you're absolutely right. That was open all night, and I didn't understand it either. I mean, Donovan Jones had a rough night, and he was held on that second, which really pisses me off, because it's like, man, in a game that call made a huge difference, not making it, because it was what, 14, it was 7-3 at that point.
Yeah.
Or
no, it was 14.
It was 14-6. God,
14-6,
I'm getting I don't even remember what the freaking score was, but 14-6. Okay. It was third down on that play, and it was like 3rd and 2. And for some reason, I hate the zero blitz. I don't know why John Butler decided the zero blitz. I know why they did it, because Minnesota was like on the edge of field goal range. And so their thought was like, we got to get him out of field goal range. But it's like, man, you can come back from 17-6. Like, you can't, 21-6 is going to be the nail in the coffin. It does suck, because it's like Donovan Jones was there to make the play. And so if he gets that holding call, like, Minnesota probably ends up punting, and then it's a completely different game. So, I mean, it's just so frustrating, because that was such a clear holding call. But at the same time, it's like, that probably wouldn't have made a difference. But it's still frustrating to see that not. Like, that's so obvious.
It was bad for both sides last night. I didn't like the officials.
Yeah, and like, I couldn't disagree with the call on the 4th down on Donovan Jones. Like, that was a hold. I mean, that was if that happened to a Nebraska player, I would have been livid if they wouldn't call that. I mean, he had both of his arms around the freaking receiver. It's like, come on, man. He really had a rough night. That 4th down, giving that up, and then the touchdown he gave up. So I don't know. Maybe Malcolm
had a rough night. There was a Taylor run where he was in the second level of the defense, and he just got completely faked out of his shoes, and it was not a problem for Taylor. And we saw it last year in the secondary. Buford just couldn't make the tackle.
Yeah, that was bad. And that reminded me of the Justice Haynes run. It's like, man, if you're you got to get that guy down. So I think he was out after that. I think I saw more Rex Guthrie after that. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it was a tough one. Do you think? Thanks for the comment, New York Life from YouTube, or the New Life. Sorry, can't even read this morning. Do you guys think all the Penn State talk has anything to do with last night's performance?
Yeah.
I think, I don't see how you could say that it didn't. I think these are 18, 19-year-old kids, and I think regardless of what they were saying, I think there had to be some distraction, and there had to be some concern of like we're getting to this point, and probably some frustration too. I mean, just like, why is this happening? With our coach when we're starting to do well. So I don't know. And it's not that it's Matt Rule's fault. Matt Rule had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
He didn't have James Franklin fired, or he didn't choose to be. So it's an unfortunate kind of series of events, but I do think that it had an impact. Yes,
I do think it's interesting that Trey Taylor shut down his recruitment, and Danny Odom reposted Taylor's message. So those were encouraging things on Thursday. That happened on social media after we did our show. But so I mean, that is some good news, but we'll see.
Yes, Nebraska's 6th straight loss to Fleck, or to the Gophers. Fleck has their number. Yeah. It's disappointing. I don't know what else to say about it, but it's incredibly disappointing. I have to say, I think this is the worst loss of Matt Rule's tenure in Nebraska. I know there was that UCLA game that was pretty ugly, but to me, this was worse just because of where this team is. And man, I mean, Nebraska each of these last 2 years they got ranked, and in the 2 games after they got ranked, they lost a combined 80-13. To Minnesota and Indiana. I know Indiana's great right now and all that, but 80-13 to Minnesota and Indiana is just, it's not what we signed up for.
Yeah, it's definitely not what we signed up for. And I just was very not confused by last night's performance. And I had said that, out of Maryland and Minnesota, I expected them to lose one of the two. I just didn't expect them to lose, in this fashion.
Yeah, and that is the thing. You got to play on a Friday night, which was always going to be tough. I mean, you play it, you have an emotional game in Maryland, you come back from it, your head coach is talking to Penn State. I mean, I don't know. Like, even in the kind of blogosphere and like there wasn't a lot of talk about Minnesota until kind of the middle of the
No.
week, and even then it was kind of like more of a passive thing. So I mean that doesn't mean that the
I did
players.
I did one article on coach's thoughts for the Minnesota game.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it just wasn't. And that's the thing, man. It's really, it's really interesting because Minnesota just treats this game differently. Like this is a marquee game for them, and they treat it very similar to the way they treat Iowa and Wisconsin. And like PJ Fleck knows the games that he needs to win, and Nebraska, Nebraska just doesn't treat it that way, and that's fine. I mean, I know that like the success of this program isn't measured by beating Minnesota, but like you gotta start doing it. It'd be like if Michigan couldn't beat Michigan State. Like at some point, you've got to if you're gonna ever beat, the Ohio States and the Oregons and those teams, you've got to start beating Iowa and you've got to start beating Minnesota. Like that's where it started. That's what I wanted Matt Rule to do when he got here. And it's year 3 and we still can't do it. And that's the frustrating thing to me is it's like we've made progress. He's definitely made progress over Scott Frost. There's no question about it. But like in year 3, is it enough progress? I don't know. We'll see. We talked about it at the start of the year. 8-4 and beating Iowa's like the minimum. Like I don't know if we're going to get that. I really don't. Can this team beat Iowa? I don't know.
I don't think they can with their defensive line. Not because of the offensive juggernaut known as Mark Gronowski, my other pal. Besides poor Drew Aller, he's got some boo-boos right now, so I won't pick on Drew Aller too much. But I don't think the Iowa's defensive line. I don't think they can. I mean, and I get people wanting Dylan Raiola to get the ball out faster, but if your offensive line is holding the hands of opposing defensive lines and leading them to the quarterback, then there's nothing he can do.
And Craig, definitely a common theme. Fire Donovan Raiola. DR holding the ball too long. Got to get the ball out faster. In the new life, I've spent a fair amount of time in Sioux City area. Was impressed by the fervent dedication of Husker fans. I have a soft spot for you guys.
I don't know how we have so much dedication. I mean,
yeah,
I guess it's because leave and take Jackson with you. That's funny.
That was good. Yeah, that kind of cracked me up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily. I don't want. I'm not saying we need to talk about firing Matt Rule or anything, but he's got some things to prove.
Taking Dylan right. Like, do people not remember the quarterback play we had 2 years ago when we could barely pass for 100 yards?
Yeah, and Raiola made some. Oh my gosh, if Isaiah Hunter makes that catch, like
that was a beautiful ball.
Yeah.
Beautiful ball.
And of course, I know that Dylan missed. I can't remember who it was, but he did miss a touchdown earlier in the game.
Was that on the fade route?
I think so. I can't remember. It's kind of.
I think it was Dane Key.
Yeah, I think that's who it was. So I mean, yeah, but quarterbacks they're not going to make every throw. But like in that moment, like we had to have that play. Like if we catch that and get a touchdown right after that, there's still enough time to kind of come back. And so yeah,
I think if Dylan Raiola left, fans would realize that the life is the grass is not always greener on the other side.
I question the sanity of my fandom daily. Well, yeah. I often question why I even like sports sometimes. I'm like, why couldn't I just have been a fan of symphony orchestra and I could watch that on Saturdays or something?
I mean, when you go
maybe those people get upset.
Turn 70, you can do that.
Maybe they get upset too. Like they're watching the symphony in the stands and they're like, have their fan like drum set or like their drumstick and they're like snapping it over their knees. Oh, you didn't play the concerto correctly. I don't know. He missed, at least as he missed. I don't remember the second one, but I'm not gonna. I just don't remember this game very well. I don't know why. It's not like I was even drunk or anything. I just, I was distracted. I guess I was felt like it was in the Twilight Zone for 3 hours. Like I could not believe what I was seeing. No. At least we are 5-2.
Yeah,
not 2-5. Yeah, I mean the season.
You could be Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Did they lose again last night?
They did to California.
Oh,
I mean, California's terrible.
God. But you know what? California beat Minnesota by 13 points. So what does that say about us?
I'm about to kick you out of the stream. but I'm doing this on my own now.
Who would win between Nebraska and North Carolina? That's the question. No,
North Carolina.
Oh God.
No, North Carolina is
we would be.
historic levels of bad. This was just a very poor performance.
Yeah, I think we would be. We're better. We're at least not North Carolina. At least we're not North Carolina. Everybody. Every year, John Zanker, thank you for your comment on Facebook. Every year, we expect something better for the young line, but it never unfolds, and the experiment with Butler is looking ugly. That three-man front thing was a disaster, but it always is literally the worst scheme in football.
I don't know about John Butler because I was impressed with him early in the season, and then the Michigan game where he couldn't hem in Bryce Underwood and the running game and the quarterbacks, and then this game where the Gophers just ran wild and we couldn't get any pressure on Lindsey. Kind of it makes me wonder. I don't know about John Butler. I was high on him and I still do like him, but I don't know now.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough game. I don't know if there's anything. I think it's just they just doesn't. The problem with this team is they just don't have the horses on the D line, and we said that for all offseason, and it wasn't addressed. And it's like I don't know where in what world that they thought that they could get through a Big Ten season with Elijah Judy and Riley Van Poppel as their nose tackles. Like I don't know what they were thinking, and that should have been priority number one. And they haven't recruited. They've recruited basically one nose tackle in 3 years, and that's Tyson Terry. So it's like I don't know. I mean, I know that they know how important the defensive line is, but it's like they have not recruited those 300-pound dudes very well. And I'm not saying it's easy to get those guys. I know that they're trying, but they've got to get that fixed. But I mean, I don't know. It's hard. That's the thing about being relying too much on the portal is, you have to depend on the players that are in there. And sometimes, it's not great. And so it makes it difficult for Nebraska because when you're competing with Oregon and these other programs for these top players, you're probably going to lose. And that's where, Matt Rule, I think, is talking about the $40 million roster thing, because instead of getting a guy like, Isaiah World, who Nebraska was in, very much in on before he went to Oregon, they got Elijah Pritchett. And there's a hell of a difference between that. Even though you're paying, a similar rate, it's like in the NFL, you get the prime A free agent and that guy's a superstar. And then you get the team that misses on that guy is overpaying for another dude and he's not good. And you just overpaid for somebody because you needed him. And so I don't know. We'll see. But the defensive line, I think, is a glaring issue. And, we said that all offseason.
Not even just the defensive line, but the lack of pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
All defensive line, linebackers, everybody. Nowhere's been okay. I mean, he's actually been one of the bright spots of the season. McCullough's been okay, but I mean, again, they barely got any pressure on Drake Lindsey last night, and to me, that was unacceptable. I mean, Drake Lindsey was not a speed demon quarterback. He reminded me, and they said this in the broadcast, kind of like Tom Brady-ish in the way he just made his throws in the pocket and made his reads quick and got the ball out, but there was no pressure to be had. And we've seen it sometimes. We've seen pressure against Maryland and we've seen pressure against Michigan State, but again, it seems like against these beefier, thicker Midwest offensive lines, you can't really get pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, and what's crazy too is that Minnesota doesn't even have that great of an offensive line. So, and they only had to throw 20 times against Nebraska. So Drake Lindsey was 16 of 20. I mean, last week against Purdue, you mentioned it at the start, Minnesota had to throw the ball 45 times because they ran 18 times for 30 yards. Darius Taylor had 14 carries for 14 yards. Now, he's been trying to get healthy and all that type of stuff, but man, it's just like this Minnesota offensive line has struggled this year, and Nebraska just couldn't do anything against it. I mean, Purdue had a few sacks against them. Like every team has gotten pressure against them. So I don't know. And I think Penn State has shown waiting until the end of the season is better time to make coaching changes. Snap decisions are based on emotions. I'm not sure if you mean if you're talking about like Donovan or with Matt Rule there. So I mean, I don't think we're gonna see any changes during the season, but we'll see.
But Donovan's had enough time to fix this, and he hasn't yet.
Yeah. How confident are we?
beating Northwestern.
I mean, they just beat Penn State, so they just went to Happy Valley and won. So I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I'm confident. I think Nebraska should win, but Braun's a good coach, and they've got players too. So that's the thing. Is like even Northwestern in this era, like I know their NIL is obviously not Nebraska's, but they're not going to lay down, and they're having a great season. So like they're going to be very motivated. So yeah, I mean that's exactly like the teams that don't make mistakes, that are physical, that are tough. Like that's the team that kind of worries me. So yeah, Nebraska should win that game, but they should have won last night.
It's interesting how Northwestern's kind of carried that identity over from the Pat Fitzgerald era because Pat Fitzgerald teams were very much the same.
Yeah, they've David Braun's done a hell of a job. RIP, which is Dale Burns. I don't know if he means for the season, but
My brother Steven.
yeah, fire rule, Mike Doherty. That's
Fire rules, so everybody
fire
else
rule.
can bitch about the next hire when they go 4-8 and 5-7. I mean, at some point, like I don't know.
I'm not there yet. We'll see
No, I'm not
how
there
he
yet
does.
either.
I mean, because if we won last night, we'd be going to a bowl game in Game 7. So, like, I get it. I'm frustrated, but let's try to keep our perspective. But I do understand. But I'm not going to sit here and say there aren't, signs of concern. There are. Raiola is overrated. I'm not there. I'm not ready to say that yet. This is what, start number 20. He's a 20-year-old kid. Quarterback development is not linear, people. Okay, like you're gonna have good games and bad games. Like it just takes time. It's a difficult position to play, and especially when you've got a bunch of dudes in your face all the time. So I'm not there to say that Raiola's.
Sorry, that was just funny. Dudes in your face. I hate having dudes in my face.
So I'm not there to say he's overrated because man, if you put him on. Imagine if Dylan Raiola played for Oregon.
Yeah.
Do you think that? I mean, do you really think that? No. Would Dante Moore make this offense that much better? Like, I think if you switch those two players, I think they'd have very similar production. So that's.
And also, I'll take 1,768 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Like, if that's what we're calling poor quarterback play, then I'll take that.
Yeah, some of the best quarterbacking we've literally ever seen since we went to a passing offense. Yeah. Dylan Raiola, I mean, he's played some of the best quarterback. I mean, in terms of like pro style passing, like this is one of the best we've seen since Nebraska switched from the triple option. So
does he have his faults? Absolutely. But would it be more advantageous for us to switch or, put a new quarterback in? Probably not.
And let me ask this: since Nebraska switched from the triple option offense, have we ever had a single quarterback that got any type of buzz for the NFL? No. This is the first guy that we've ever had, literally ever, people, that has ever gotten talked about as a first-round pick in the NFL draft, ever, at quarterback, ever. I'm talking about since we switched to the triple option, away from the triple option offense. Taylor Martinez wasn't that. I mean, I know Joe Gans had a nice season, Zach Taylor too, but those guys were just guys. Dylan Raiola actually has arm talent, like the kind of arm talent we've never seen in Nebraska. So we need to keep that in mind.
Nebraska fans have always had a fetish for the backup quarterback, and I think that's what's happening here.
I mean, that's everybody, but yeah, it is.
Brent, I want to go back to the New Life's comment about the financial support because I don't think we do.
Okay. Is there? Sorry, I kind of went back past this comment. Sorry, New Life. Is there much outside from financial support for Nebraska? Michigan has Ellison, Indiana has Cuban, USC has the Hollywood types. I mean, I know they have that one family, the Pede family, but like, where are the Ricketts? The guys that own the Cubs and the kids, the like state senator for Nebraska or whatever, or like he's not the state senator. I think he is the senator for the state of Nebraska. So like, I don't know. Those guys have a lot of ties to the state, and they have a heck of a lot of money. Maybe they are making investments. I'm not really sure, but it does seem like they need more financial support, and I think that's something Matt Rule has said. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
I'm not sure exactly what this comment was. Maybe the quit one. I'm not sure, Joel.
I think that's what
it did. Yeah, I don't know if they quit again, like I said, but definitely, they were demoralized. It's like it's like those days when you're at work and you just want to, it's almost 5:00 and, you're not giving your full effort, but you're still trying, but it's like, your soul's a little crushed. I think their souls were a little crushed by that after that. When it got 24-6, I think they just were like, meh.
And I honestly don't blame them.
I think Indiana should be number one. How are they not number one? Like, that's what bugs me about college football is like, I mean, I get Ohio State looks like a really good team, and they, like on paper, but man, like Indiana's got the best resume. They won at Oregon. Ohio State couldn't even do that last year, so I feel like they should be number one. Yeah, that was
Also,
surprising
kudos to
too.
Signetti for getting a nice new deal.
Yeah, and I was thinking, man, it'd be nice if Nebraska did that, but maybe we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot. Seems like there's a lot of loot in Omaha. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It seems like there should be, but do we care if Rule leaves 22 versus top 25? Only 2 wins were 2016, 0-11 versus top 10. If we're worried that Rule leaves, we are the problem settling for mediocrity. I mean,
well, the problem is the Board of Regents really gets in the way of any hiring process whatsoever. And I probably should say this online, but I'm going to anyway. And so it seems like as much as they want to, as much as we want to hire that flashy coach and as much as we want to hire the next best thing, like we should, we get in our own way. And I don't think it's the athletic department. I think, the higher ups of the university are afraid for something, flashy, afraid for change. And so they settle for the safer option when it comes to these things. And so in that way, I would kind of be worried if Rule leaves because I don't know if we'd be able to get anybody better based off of the people involved in the hiring process.
Yeah, I mean, and James mentions too. I mean, about the money thing, we do have obviously Warren Buffett's from Omaha, so
I saw something that he stopped donating to the university after they did Frank dirty. Although I don't know if that's true.
Oh, could be. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely the Ricketts and Buffett. So I mean, there's some. But
Hey,
yeah, I
if you
think
have if you have the money and you want Nebraska to be better, then you got to start ponying up.
yeah, I mean, I sure would if I had it, but I don't. Yeah, so this question, I mean, I understand Rule's record against top 25 teams, but I do think that you have to have some context. Like he was coaching at Baylor and Temple, but it doesn't slide by me that PJ Fleck got a top 25 win last night. You know what I mean? And Matt Rule still can't get it. So I mean that it does seem like I don't know.
I mean, were we really a top 25 team?
Well, no, but
No.
I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, no, no, we didn't belong in the top 25. I was excited that we were there for sure, but we didn't belong.
Corn. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, my thing is like
I mean, Chris, it's like saying you beat me in a foot race. Like, yeah, shit, I'm in a wheelchair. Like, I hope you could. I mean,
I don't know, man. Some days my kid is cramped. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. It's like with Rule, I mean, settling for mediocrity, like I get it, but I mean, I think after a few years, his record at Nebraska his top 25 record will be fair, but I think it's kind of unfair to say like, oh, a coach at Temple and Baylor hasn't beaten top 25 teams. Well, no shit. How many times has Baylor and Temple beaten a top 25 team? You know what I mean?
How many times do Baylor and Temple schedule top 25 opponents anyway to begin with?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and you're talking about Baylor, you're talking about Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, Baylor's not going to beat those teams very often, but and I know that like Matt Rule's like, yeah, he got really close with Baylor. He got him to the Big 12 championship game. So I mean, I don't know. They used to say this. They used to say they used to say the same thing about Harbaugh, and and they said the same thing about Dabo Swinney. Like he used to be able to not beat Florida State. Like I mean, it is a narrative and it's true, but it's also
Ryan Day had the Michigan issue.
Yeah, which he still technically has. I think they're going to solve that at the end of this season. But it's the same thing. Yeah, like Dan Lanning. People say Dan Lanning can't win big games. I mean, it's just like I get those narratives. I feel like people just like to have that. But the truth is, it's hard to beat those teams. So I mean, yeah, nobody's going to have a great record against top 10 opponents. So like I'm not that worried about that part of it. But the part that worries me is freaking 0-4 against Minnesota and Iowa. I think that's much more damning than his record against top 25 teams.
And we could probably add the record against Illinois in there too.
Yeah. Although we did beat them once, I guess. I think it's safe to say we didn't expect to lose like this from Corn-born Mike. Goes to
Yeah,
show that this team can't underestimate anyone. There are zero guaranteed wins anymore. And
yeah.
I do think,
And I think the like this part is the key part of the sentence here. Like this, where we looked physically dominated, we looked unprepared, we looked sloppy. Like, sure, a loss would have been understandable, but like this, I mean, oof.
his only 2 wins, top 25 wins, were at Temple. So what's that say? So Temple University can do it, but we can't. I mean, who was the opponent though? I get what you're saying. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm not there to ready to say you can't beat. How many top 25 teams has he really played at Nebraska so far? I mean, I know he's played quite a few, but I mean, the Michigan game this year was one they probably should have won.
Yeah.
They probably should have beat Illinois last year. That would have been a top 25 win. So, I mean, like I get what you're saying, but yeah, I don't know. I just think that I still think that narrative's a little unfair.
Yeah, I don't agree with that narrative either.
It's just
And
like
I don't.
it would be like what's Kirk Ferentz record against top 25 teams? You know what I mean? Like he's got some wins, but he's got a hell of a lot of losses too because he plays a lot of them. So I mean, it's like
What's Garrett Signetti's record against top 25 teams? Better this year, of course, but
yeah, I think last year Nebraska was the only one they beat. So I mean, as much as everybody wanted to give them all this credit and everything, and they did play well. I mean, they're great. They're playing really well, and they beat Oregon and Illinois, I guess,
no,
this
this
year.
year
But
they deserve all the credit in the world. Last year, I thought they might have been a fraud. This year is proof that they know what they're doing.
and so yeah, I mean, but Signetti has 3 in 2 years. I mean, so let's be honest about it. Like, still great, but
I mean, 3 in 2 years, I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, God, Sharon Moore has 3 wins over ranked teams in 2 years, and I don't know that he's a very good coach. So that's kind of the weird thing is I don't know how we just like don't luck into some of these things, but I still in some ways truly believe that Nebraska is cursed. Like and forget about the offensive line coach. We need to get a voodoo person in here. We need to hire every like witch doctor, whatever, and we just need to spend like a day and let them go around the team in Memorial Stadium and doing like all type of anti-jinx and curse and whatever we need to do to just rid Nebraska of the bad juju. Because it's like I don't know if it was because we fired Frank Solich and Bo Pelini and like their souls are haunting us. I don't know, but we have some
that
bad
would require
juju.
us to spend NIL money, which we don't like to spend anyway. So I don't even know if we could hire any one of those witches or voodoo doctors or whatever. I mean, we'd probably hire a witch or voodoo doctor from Timu, and then everybody in the state of Nebraska would get poisoned because a spell would go wrong, and then that would end up in that would be a problem.
Take the Rocco Spindler and Elijah Pritchett NIL money and hire the best witch doctor possible. This is where we are at, people. This is the analysis that you've come here for. No, I'm just kidding, but
Hard hitting.
I always think about that episode of The Office, when Michael Scott's like, "We are cursed," and that's just how I feel about Nebraska football sometimes.
I don't know. And now like we still got another month of this.
The line play at tackle is what's holding us back. Yeah,
tackle is glaring.
It's
absolutely
so
glaring.
Bad. So bad. Yeah, I don't know. It's like special teams played pretty well. I mean, Archie Wilson did his job. He pinned him down at the 2. It's not his fault that the defense gave up a 14-play, 98-yard drive after that.
Kid leaves his entire family in Australia to come to this mess. Like I don't know.
I love Mike Eckler though, man. Like when they downed it at the 2, he was so pumped up, and I was like, yeah, good. We're getting back into it, and I was like, we get a stop here, But
special teams did, like, if we want to pinpoint like good things about the game, the special teams did play well, I thought. And they played well throughout the entire season, so that's no surprise. Even the broadcast brought it up, and it's good to see when the national people recognize what we see too. But because who were the announcers last night again? I forget.
Tim Brando and Devin Gardner.
Brando I didn't like. I didn't think he was that good at all.
Yeah, he's kind of gotten off his rocker a little bit. He keeps messing up people's names, and then when he did the Nebraska Michigan State game, he kept referring to Archie Wilson as like a 2-time all-conference punter, and that was the Michigan State guy. So yeah,
he's manifesting, Chris. He's
Yeah, well,
manifesting.
but Devin Gardner, who actually former Michigan quarterback,
Yeah.
I think he does a really good job. So he's kind of moved his way up. But unfortunately, Tim Brando's kind of on the other side of his career. But
Well, it was like listening to what Gary Daniels against the Michigan in the Michigan game.
yeah, that was bad too. Yeah, some of those guys are bad. But I've liked Tim
Legends,
Brando
but
for most of
that's
his career, though. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he.
Legends, but past their time, just like Bill Belichick.
Yep. But he's still damn enthusiastic, so I'll give him that. So the top 25 wins were over East Carolina and Navy. So I mean,
I remember those Navy teams were pretty solid because they had what was the quarterback's name? I forget, but he was really, really good.
yeah, I remember who you're talking about now, but yeah, I don't remember.
QB. I'm gonna
The
look
punt
this
at the
up.
2 was a beautiful. That was great. New O-line coach needed ASAP. I would say that's the one consensus point that everybody's kind of said is that a new offensive line coach is needed. There's only been one person who said that Matt Rule should be fired. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have said like, oh, Rule's not doing a great job or whatever,
Yeah.
but
I'm not there yet.
that's I think that is the consensus that Donovan Raiola needs to go. So we'll see.
Soon, not like at the end of the season. They want to salvage any because 2 losses, and I know I'm going to get flamed for saying this, but can still get you into the playoff. And I know that's been the barometer for us, and so there still is a salvageable season here, but not if the offensive line keeps trending downward.
Yeah, I know people are going to get mad if we say this, but yeah, if Nebraska somehow, some way wins out and goes 10-2, I mean, they'll be in the conversation. I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to, I think this losses would really hurt them. I mean, I think that if it gets to that point, they beat USC and do some of these other things, like Iowa's looking pretty good though. So and then just in the sense that there might be chances on the resume to get some top 25 wins. But yeah, it's let's get to a bowl game first. But yeah, it's still, I mean, every goal is still there for this team. I mean, that's, except like trying to probably win the Big Ten or whatever. Like
again,
that's
I know
out.
you're hearing us say this. I get it. I get it, but it's true.
It is possible. I'm not saying, but what's possible too. If Minnesota wins out, they'll probably be in the damn playoff. I mean, their resume looks better than ours right now. So
right now, we can't even block an actual gopher like the animal. Like
yeah,
we got bigger problems to address.
Yeah, well, don't underrate the Gophers. I'm just kidding. I did get outsmarted by a Gopher one time.
What happened?
Well, so when I worked at the golf course, I worked on a golf course. Like the range crew. Like Bill Murray and Caddyshack. If you ever seen Caddyshack,
oh yeah.
Did that job. Yeah. So anyway, we had a Gopher problem, and me and my other charge, like the range, the range pick water cooler. So we were supposed to go out and kill gophers, but of course we were only like 14, so we couldn't have the old 22. So we were assigned a shovel, and so we were chasing around this one gopher, and we thought we ran him over with the golf cart, and so he was just like laying there dead. And so we were like walked up on him, and we're like, oh, we ran over this gopher, and we had our shovels and stuff, and then he like jumped up and ran away. So
that's smart.
Yeah, so he faked, and we were like,
played dead.
Damn it, I just got outsmarted by a gopher. So yeah, I also one time almost so I was like refilling the water coolers, and the guy mowing the lawns was like wanted to drink of water. So I was like, oh, okay. So I stopped and did not take the keys out of the ignition. The water cooler fell onto the ignition, and so the cart just like took off. And thankfully, there was creeks and greens. It didn't hit a green, or I would have got murdered probably, but it did run into it. So eventually it smacked into this tree and flew back like 10 yards and was perfectly. So then I just got in and drove away. And
nothing to see here. Nothing happened.
Thankfully, nobody got run over or anything. Like it's kind of. I'm surprised. I did not get fired after that though. So there you go.
7-5 winning over Northwestern and upset UCLA.
Yeah,
I said 8-4 would kind of be the record where we'd be like, I don't know, but 7-5, that would be a disappointment.
Yeah, if they beat Northwestern, and my minimum this season is 8 wins with a win over Iowa. If they do that, then I'll give Matt Rule the old thumbs up for this season. But anything less than that, I think, is a disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Dylan Raiola is not in the hospital by the time the Iowa game comes. Caddyshack 2. I like the first one better.
Yeah, the first one was way better.
And the new one, I mean, it's okay, but not like the old ones. Not to sound like a back in my day type of guy, but yeah,
UCLA suddenly got scary. Yeah,
they figured something out.
at the start of the season, I said 7-5. I'm still there. So much Kool-Aid was being drank. This team is lucky to be 5-2 instead of 2-5. Yeah, I mean, very easily could have lost to Cincinnati. Very easily could have lost to Maryland. Very easily could have lost to Michigan State. So, but yeah, they are where they are, and 5 games left to find this season. So, on that note, I gotta head out. Got to go deal with the kiddos. So, thanks for everybody for a very interesting chat today. Thanks for everybody who has hopped
absolutely.
on today on Facebook, on YouTube. We'll be back with our Fallout episode on Monday, so we'll have some more thoughts, and we'll also be recapping the basketball scrimmage that's going to be happening today. So number 8 BYU coming to Lincoln, so maybe that'll give us.
I'm excited for this basketball team.
Yeah, me too.
This basketball team has had more success recently than the football team, so I don't know.
Also, remember it's an exhibition, so whatever happens, good or bad, don't read too much into it. So,
thanks, New Life. I appreciate all your activity in the chat today.
And yeah, if you guys haven't done it already, be like New Life and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so you can join this community of hardcore Husker fans that we
mourn together.
Yeah, mourn together. We celebrate together and we'll mourn together. So hopefully we'll have some more things to celebrate in the coming weeks. But we truly appreciate it. It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been a cathartic experience to talk to all you guys.
Therapy.
So therapy with Husker Big Red.
That's what our Saturday chat should be called now. Right, the season's gone.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Thing is that we're hoping we could beat Northwestern. I mean, yeah, I agree.
That is sad, Mark.
That is a true statement. Yeah, I didn't think that this is where we would be in year 3, but
But here we are.
A lot of things that I think don't go according to plan. So there you go.
But we will trudge on as Nebraska fans, undeterred, because that's who we are as people. So no matter what, we will always be there. And as always, go Big Red.
Go Big Red.